All right, I said we were going to get to them, so let's get to them. Illinois and Rutgers. Rutgers loses this one. Tough game for them. Illinois wins 76-58. Obviously, was a tough one for the Rutgers to be able to come out and play this one. But Illinois, they just got onto a roll and really made things happen. Justin, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Illinois, watching this one a little bit, this Terrence Shannon he had a game. Like, he was 8 of 13, 23 points in this one. And the athleticism that Illinois has, if they're shooting well, they're going to be a problem for everybody. They defend pretty well. They have a bunch of athletes with plus length on the court that are going to be guys that are going to cause problems for you. They have a young big man on that team that seems to be a little bit of a problem too. They have some bulk in there again. And, I think we all remember Kofi Coburn. You get guys like that with Illinois.
Yeah.
It's just a problem. Like, you don't want to be dealing with a guy who's got some size and some bulk in the lane that's actually has some athleticism. It's much easier if they can't move.
That's what we wish every big man would not be able to do, is move. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think my takeaway is I'd mentioned you asking about, some good defensive teams that could lock down Ohio State, and I mentioned Illinois. That was my takeaway, is the defense from Illinois holding Rutgers to shooting 33% from the field. A tough shooting night for Rutgers. I think that's just speaks to Illinois as Justin has mentioned, the athletes, the plus length, they're going to get in passing lanes. It's going to be a tough contested look no matter where you're at on the court. Just very impressed by them. I think after the feast week with all the Thanksgiving tournaments, I was like, oh, Purdue's going to run away with it. I don't know if anybody, but Illinois is kind of creeping up there for me now. And I think they definitely have a shot to contend with what Purdue's bringing. It's a very talented team, very good on the defensive end. And they're going to make it into a rock fight every time you play them. And yeah, Shannon Jr. obviously he's averaging like 20 on the year, something like that. You got a guard play like that, it's always going to give you a chance.
Such good size for a guard too. He's a guy who can be able to bully other guards in the league all year long.
Yeah, I mean, in Illinois, they don't really have like a true point guard on this team. I mean, maybe Goody, maybe Harmon, but I mean, Terrence Shannon Jr., he really is the point guard for this team, the primary ball handler, making things happen. Coleman Hawkins obviously handles the ball some too, but I don't think he's the guy that you want to rely on the entire game to be doing that. Speaking of Coleman Hawkins, I've said this Illinois team will go as far as Coleman Hawkins takes them, because you can have really good Terrence Shannon Jr., but if you have really bad Coleman Hawkins, it's really going to take away from them. Coleman Hawkins only got 6 points in this game. He did get 8 assists, so that's a good thing there. Am I wrong on Coleman Hawkins here, Justin? Is there maybe another part of this team that doesn't need him to be as great? What are your thoughts on that?
I think if you were talking about them to win the league, he has to be an above average player. Like they need him to be, because he's a guy that can make it complicated for teams based off of his athleticism at that size. He's a guy who can really run. He's a guy who can shoot it from the outside, and he doesn't necessarily shoot it at a high percentage consistently, but he's capable of getting hot. And when he gets hot from the outside, when you have 6'8", 6'9", he's a guy who's capable of really causing some problems, because you don't have anyone that can defend him. It's one of those things where there's very few big men in this league that can really move well at the power forward position, and most of them can't stay in front of him if he gets the ball and going downhill in the dribble.
And I was surprised that Illinois this season, we're not seeing the Dane Danger experience that I thought we would see. We're not seeing him down low on the block, making the things happen that need to happen. I mean, I only played 8 minutes in this game, and it kind of has been that way from time to time, is we're just not seeing Dane Danger get into these games and have the impact that I think some people expected him to have. Mike, do you attribute that to bad play by Danger? Do you attribute that more to just like a different direction Illinois is going? What are some of your thoughts on him so far this season?
Yeah, I think maybe they're just going with what's been working for them so far. I mean, they've been looking good, and it's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't have any doubt that the coaches, have any doubt in him necessarily. I think if he gets called on, he can definitely provide them with good, solid minutes. He's a fantastic athlete, fantastic player. So I think they're just kind of sticking with what's been working for him so far. And I mean, his minutes haven't been there, but I think he's a great player, and I think if need be, if his number gets called, he's definitely going to show up for him.
Yeah, and another big man that didn't have the best game. I mean, he played 29 minutes in this one was Cliff Amorier. He did manage to pull down 9 rebounds, but only 7 points. On the defensive end, I will say, outstanding. 8 blocks in this one.
Yeah,
that is obviously going to be a huge piece. But on the offensive end, just not really what you want from the best player on your team to be able to make this happen. Justin, you have any worries about Cliff Amorier and his offensive game going forward?
I mean, not really. And I would say it's one of those things where just give it a little bit of time. I think that as they get into the league and he gets settled, he'll be fine. He's a guy who's proven that he can play at a high level already previously. So, I would just chalk it up to Illinois is a bad matchup probably for him, because there are some guys who can kind of get around him and make him uncomfortable, where most other teams aren't going to have the big athletes that they can kind of surround him with and kind of make it complicated.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point there. So 3 for 10, 1 for 4 in free throws. That's a tough situation. Got to be better on the free throws there. So